Section 0 of the Sonnets from the Crimea. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Piotr Nater. Sonnets from the Crimea by Adam Mickiewicz. Translated by Edna Underwood. Section 1. Introduction. Adam Mickiewicz. A biographical sketch. Adam Mickiewicz, 1798–1855. The last of the 18th century was an important period for Russia and Poland, not only politically, but in letters and art. It marked the birth of statesmen, patriots, poets, and writers. It was into a Poland of great names and greater activities that Adam Mickiewicz was born in 1798, as son of an impoverished family of the old nobility. 3 years before, the third and last partition of his native land had taken place, and the signed documents had been hastened to Petersburg to make more triumphant the birthday of the great Catherine. Just a few years before this, in 1792, Kościuszko had courageously led his 45,000 valiant Poles in their brave defiance of the overwhelming number of Cossacks and Russians. History had recorded the bloody Turkish wars, the Pugachev rebellion, the uprising of the Zaporozhian Cossacks, and the Polish confederations. And with the 19th century came the Napoleonic Wars, with the dramatic entry of Napoleon into Russia, and a new and different mental life began to dawn over Europe. Mickiewicz was born in Novogródek in Lithuania. This was the birthplace of Count Henry Rzewuski, who wrote the delightful memories of the Polish 18th century, under the title of The Memories of Pan Severin Soplica, and who declared he considered it an honor to be born a Szlachcic, noble, of Lithuania, and of Novogródek. Footnote. The full title of the book is Memories of Pan Severin Soplica, Cupbearer of Parnau, by Count Henry Rzewuski. End of footnote. He went to a government school in Minsk, and later attended the University of Vilna, which city in his day was a place of Jesuit faith, gloomy convents, and echoing bells. All about him epoch-making events for Slav lands were taking place. It was the resounding, inspired age for his race, and he grew up to take a fitting place in that age and to be called the immortal hero of Polish poetry. Poland just then was the battleground not only for the armies of Europe, but for the diplomats. It was a place for statesmen to win their spurs. If accredited to Petersburg or Warsaw and successful, they were believed to be equal to any diplomatic emergency. Eloquence, inspiration, and patriotic fervor must have cradled his childhood. At the time of the birth of Mickiewicz, Russia was bringing to a close a prodigious period of development in almost every field of human activity. It was really a birth throe of a nation that was to move powerfully and to dominate, partially, the new age. And the splendid and never again to be equaled pageant of the life of Catherine the Great, with its wild dreams of world dominance and the glorious revival of perished Greece, had just been unrolled for the amazement of Europe. What dramatic and enchanting memories the names of her followers call up! The Orloffs, Potiomkin, Panin, Poniatowski, Bestuchev Rumin, Princess Dashkov, Razumovsky. In France, too, the same preceding period had been brilliant. It had been the France of Voltaire, the encyclopedists, and a most resplendent and luxurious monarch. England had known her greatest orators and prime ministers. It had been the Prussia of Frederick the Great, the Dresden of August the Strong, the Austria of Joseph II. A little later, during Mickiewicz's own youth, Goethe was at the height of his power and the intellectual dictator of Europe. Under his direction and encouragement, the treasures of Oriental literature were being translated and made known to the West. This is merely a hasty glimpse of the mise en scène that preceded the debut in life of the most renowned of Polish poets. The old traditions of absolute and God-created monarchs at princely times were coming to an end, and that democratic modern world, where everything was to change, was close at hand. Just over the crest, indeed, of this new century into which fate was ushering him. He was to see the last of the blind power and royal prerogative, and the first dawn of a modern spirit which in time would sweep away forever the old. It was an uncertain, difficult transition period, without standards and without measurements. As we take a fleeting bird's-eye view of the stirring times in which his days were spent, his travels, his army life, his periods of professorship, we cannot but wonder at the amount of writing Mickiewicz did. And his life was not a long one. It did not reach to 60 years. But during the working years allotted him, before the mystical melancholy
Sample complete. Ready to continue?